everyone, welcome to a very exacerbated Anime Amigos.
Hello.
I'm Calvin Atkinson, the Pokemon Punk.
I'm Reese, the Gundam Guru.
I'm Ren, the JoJo Genius.
I'm Merit, the Vanguard Vagrant. And you know, over the last few weeks, I have been inspired by legendary entrepreneur, meme master, and the man who will most likely take my future daughter's virginity, Elon Musk.
What?
With all the changes he has made on Twitter, changing it from the funny bird up to Organization 13, and promoting bullying on the site by removing the block feature. Therefore, I decided it would be a good idea to make a few changes with the Anime Amigos. Changes that will bring about a new era to anime podcasting.
Not really
And ones that will changes that will no likely be met with groans, sighs, and will most likely be rejected by the end of this joke. So the first one I suggest, we change the Anime Amigos name to simply A. We just change it to A, and therefore what we will release what is known as A videos.
Nice.
Do you know secondly, I say we start removing certain things from the podcast. You know, the unnecessary things that some might say are essential to the podcast. For starters, I suggest we stop doing videos in the month of May, and we remove the OP category in our season roundup. I say we do this very progressively, though. We don't want to, you know, scare off all the viewers. So we keep removing things until eventually the only thing we're allowed to talk about are Rent-A-Girlfriend, Freddos, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
Good idea.
Turtle Power.
And finally, I think it's time we start laying off employees. I mean, let's be honest. Do we really need this many? I knew you loved this idea, Calvin. Hence why I already laid off 5% of them. How did I do that? Well, you can't see it. Well, you viewers probably can't see it. But I have severed off both my legs and I've just cut off one of Reese's.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, what do we think of those
Did you
changes?
get the bad one?
What do you think of all those changes, Calvin? Do you like them?
No, but somehow going from Anime Amigos to A is somehow still better than going from Twitter to X.
Yeah.
So no.
No, but you can take the salt
Give
and
me a sec, Reese. I'll go get the super glue.
Get back here. And incidentally, you
This is part of the canon now. This is how I walk.
you put more effort into that than you needed to, I will say.
Yeah, Elliot, you're going to have to start wearing camo pants because we're just not allowed to see your legs during
But
during
moving swiftly on.
What do you mean? I have no legs.
I will stress
already.
though, despite all that, you're still smarter than Elon Musk.
Yay!
Not difficult.
Not difficult hurdle to climb, but
You might actually beat him in a fight as well, considering.
let's go because he'll puss out before he does it. So let's talk about what we came to actually talk about, Trigun.
Yay.
So it was kind of a follow-on to our live episode a couple of months ago, and it's we talked briefly in that one about the fact there'd been a Trigun reboot, but we felt let's go a little more detail.
Yeah.
I mean, last time we talked about. Last time I think we talked about. We went very off topic with all of them. I think we talked about the Cowboy Bebop live action more than we actually talked about Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we did. Yeah, and you guys, and how much...
Despite the fact we already made an episode on that.
I saw, what was it now? No, never mind. Carry on. Just totally worthless tangent there.
Well, that was meaningless.
Well, yeah, so we
It's been another useless, pointless moment.
Because, yeah, we talked about Trigun in addition to Cowboy Bebop, Serial Experiments Lane, and Outlaw Star, wasn't it?
Outlaw
Yeah,
Star,
yeah, those were those, and we talked a lot. But the thing is with Trigun.
And damn you, that OP is still in my head.
Which one?
Outlaw Star.
I've still got Serial Experiments Lane over here in my head.
That's never going to leave my head.
I believe the singer who does the Serial Experiments Lane is going to be re-recording it because it's blown up on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah, but TikTok always does stupid shit. I mean,
It still reminds me very much of like a Persona or SMT opening.
It reminds me of
do you know what
Grand
recently?
Prix.
Actually, to go on that side, do you know what recently blew up TikTok? Skin Dread.
Did they?
Yeah.
They've got the new album out and they've been playing all around the UK.
It's not even their album though. It's Nobody apparently that's been blowing up.
Nobody
Nobody gets out alive.
But
But,
any reason?
No.
Oh, okay.
TikTok just brings back stupid shit for no reason. Speaking of which,
Excuse me, are you calling Skindra stupid shit?
no,
I'm gonna get Benji Webb on you right now, mate.
no, he already
I
kicked.
know your home address.
No, he already nearly kicked my ass when I went to a DJ set he was at.
Love that.
The funny thing is with Trigun, I was really excited. I don't know how you guys. I was really excited for the reboot.
Yeah, I was.
I didn't know what to expect because I know like a lot of anime reboots do have a track record of not being very good.
I had no idea what to expect other than the fact one of my close friends says that he loves the original Trigun and seeing because obviously they changed Vash. That was the big thing
Yeah.
about the previews for the reboots is how his look has changed.
And now we like Trigun.
Yeah,
Yeah, we love it.
I thought it was really good.
I enjoyed it.
Incidentally, so for this comparison, the original is done by Madhouse.
Yeah.
Stampede is done by Orange.
Who, if I remember, did Lens of the Lustrous and
Oh
whatnot.
my god, Annoying Orange! Wow, that's
Did
crazy.
Oh my god, they got
Anime studio?
They got Danebo
That's
in
insane.
fucking Trigun.
Wow.
They did Land of the Lustrous.
I knew I saw an Orange cameo. This is like that one time. This is like when I watched Land of the Lustrous and I saw Fred.
No, their credits include Land of the Lustrous and B-Stars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, hang on. Did they do what's it
They also
called?
did that really weird Godzilla.
Singularity Point.
Don't touch my
Did they
thing.
do Kado the Right Answer?
No, they didn't. No, that was it. That's why the animation
Oh no,
sucked.
that was Toei.
Yeah, that's why the animation sucked in that
I
one.
thought the animation for that was great. I was really impressed by
Yeah,
it.
but you're easily
I mean,
impressed.
Toei doesn't normally do like very good CG anime. Like as much as I love Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai, I will freely admit the CG in that is not very good.
I'll say the CG in the Dragon Ball Broly movie, however, is great.
Okay.
But that's obviously in the movie context.
Can I-
Was that done by Toei?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Toei.
Dragon Ball's Toei.
Yeah, and now the new Dragon Ball film's out on Crunchyroll. You need to
Is it?
watch. Yeah.
Oh, this is Super.
Yeah.
But,
Superhero. sorry.
Dragon Ball Super superhero.
but the
Superhero.
reason I liked
Superhero.
Stampede, the reason I liked Stampede as a concept was the fact Orange was doing it. I thought that
Yeah.
if anyone can nail that sort of animation,
Yeah, and they do nail it. In that sense, it actually makes me like from watching Duke of Death and Is Made, which let's be honest, doesn't have that good animation.
No, I disagree. I like it.
I don't think
Until
I don't think it does. It's in my opinion, it's very choppy and whatnot. Trigun Stampede has amazing animation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that the Duke of Death and Is Made is done by the studio that did High Score Girl.
What's the studio that did Berserk? The
Oh,
3D animation.
You don't want to know. It's not that. But the point is,
To the internet.
but for my opinion though, if Orange, between Land of Lustrous and B-Stars, they've proven they can do very good 3D animation. They proved it again with this one. Is it weird though? I think I prefer the look and feel of the Madhouse version.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of get that.
They both have different appeals. I would actually say if the story of Stampede was made when the original came out, and the animation styles were reversed, if that makes sense, I think the 3D animation would have suited original Trigun's story.
Ooh, it was
and
two animation studios that did Berserk. It was Gemba
Yeah.
and Elepsin Milepensi.
And that will be the last time I ever hear those studios' names.
No wonder they failed. The Milepnesbidi did that fucking cheese scale isekai we saw last season. That was trash.
yeah. Well,
Both of them have to like pretty much just 6 out of 10. Ones.
unfortunate.
So, I mean, the other thing as well is they are slightly different in terms of the story. One of the things I thought was Stampede might have gone closer to the manga since the manga wasn't finished when the anime first came out.
Yeah.
They kind of went the opposite route. They went down even more of their own route.
From what I see, it's Stampede. When I compare the two, I don't think Stampede is one of those shows though that is like, oh, we can do this better. It more just like it takes the elements of Trigun and makes its own story from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I like. I like that it's independent.
Yeah, it's not like to compare it to something Game of Thrones for final season,
Yeah.
where it's very clear that the showrunner's just like, nah, we can do this better than Martin did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a good comparison for that might be original Hellsing, because like the last arc of that is just kind of totally. Its
I
own
mean,
thing
you know,
because the manga hadn't
That's
finished. Same
because
as
the manga hadn't finished. That's why.
Yeah. Same as Full Metal.
Yeah.
But with Trigun, because as you
Well,
said,
yeah, but again with Full Metal, they're rather similar to Trigun because they also did a bunch of stuff in the middle that's very much similar.
Yeah.
Like this really is its own thing. It's not. It's
Yeah,
really not related to the
absolutely.
manga
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, it takes elements from the original Trigun, but does its own thing with it.
But I think there's a couple of things it does poorly with that. But there's a couple of things it does well with it, but there's a couple of things it does poorly.
But one of the things that's very different is how much humour is in the original compared to this one.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the Stampede is going for a much darker tone.
Yes.
Yeah,
like,
that's
like with the original Trigun, you could definitely see why they will probably be okay putting that on Toonami.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, there's a bit of blood, some violence, but ultimately it's still you can still kind of see teenagers watching it.
Yeah,
With this one,
yeah.
it's just like, oh no, we're going full into gore. We're going
Yeah,
full
yeah.
dark territory.
But I think that's actually a bit of an issue because I feel like they built the darker moments better in the original compared to the new one. I feel like the new one just straight in there. Like they give away the twist right early.
Yeah.
I mean, in all fairness, I imagine most people who saw Trigun Stampede would have already watched Trigun, so it's not really. So it's not really much point in building up to that twist again.
It's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you go in with the acknowledgement that people already know what's going to happen, then you might as well just give it away.
It would be like when to compare it to something because I recently watched Dominic Noble talk about it. Murder on the Orient Express building up to that twist, despite the fact it is one of the most well-known twists in murder mystery history.
To be fair, I didn't know it.
Yeah. But the I think for me though, when it comes to Trigun, it's a really well done. The only cast member they brought back to voice one of their previous roles for the dub was
John Young Bosch.
John Young Bosch.
As Vash.
As Vash. It was great hearing him come back.
Oh, definitely.
You kind of had to have him back though, in all fairness.
Yeah.
Oh God, who? The weirdest one was the fact that the news report called Roberto De Niro.
I just know for a fact they absolutely wanted Matthew Mercer for that role. 100%.
Yeah.
He just looks like.
He looks like someone Matt Mercer would do.
Exactly.
I'm finding it interesting that they didn't get back Joshua Seth or Bo Williams, who were both the voices of Knives.
So I'm guessing they did not bring back the voice actor from Meryl then.
No, she doesn't come back.
Because she sounds like pretty close.
Yeah, Meryl's voice actress does sound very similar. In the original, she's voiced by Dorothy Elias Fan.
Did they bring back the voice actor for Meryl's friend?
It's Sarah
Who's
Roach.
just not in Stampede.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute because that's my biggest complaint.
That's my.
What's quite amazing is, though, to be fair, Meryl's gone through quite a few voice actors because Dorothy Elias Fan did not come back to voice her in the movie Badlands Rumble. It's Lucy Christian who takes over. Yeah, they did a movie. It's a non-canon sort of mid-quel.
Oh, kind of like what the Cowboy Bebop movie then.
Very similar, actually. But it's a shit. Yeah, that was also my biggest problem. Roberto's fine, but at the end of the day, she's got nothing on Stun Gun Millie.
No.
Yeah.
I think Roberto's quite one note as well. He's just kind of this like haggard journalist who's and also I've got issues with. I like him in certain elements.
I also really miss there's a really good connection between Millie and Wolford. In fact, Wolford is really crap in this version.
I like Wolford.
He's not nearly as interesting as he is in the original.
I still think he's pretty cool. I think they revealed his crucifix too early.
Also, they did.
We keep talking about how they keep revealing things a bit too early. We're comparing a 24 episode anime to a 12 episode anime.
No,
which is possibly going to get a few more content in the future.
But also with like revealing something I think that is fan servicey, which would be his crucifix. I think that's different than revealing like a plot element early on. Because I would have liked like a bit more build up to the crucifix being revealed and then like. It was a cool.
I think it was. I feel like it was good considering the fact that the crucifix was very different in this one.
Yes, I
like
it
originally it was like sort of a carrier to carry all his guns.
Yeah.
In this one, however, it is the gun.
I like it a lot more as a laser. It's cool.
I personally prefer the original on that one.
Really?
I really prefer the original.
I always assumed it would be like this big, massive cannon thing, and I like that they changed it to that.
But again, the ending does kind of hint at some characters from the original coming back, like Millie and Legato Blue Summers.
I think that's more just fan service. I don't think already know we're gonna be seeing more because spoilers. They kill Knives at the end.
No, they don't. He's back in the post-credits scene.
Wait, is he really? Oh, I missed that.
Oh.
Yeah, they sort of hint that he's come back in the post-credits scene.
I would have assumed that would happen anyway.
Well, I thought it was supposed to be Vash. Who's amnesia?
It's a bit up in the air whether it's Vash or
I'm pretty sure it's Vash.
But if
wasn't Eric's, which they called him, wasn't that the name Vash took when he was hiding?
Yeah,
in the originals. Well, so I don't see why they would give that name to.
But if they have killed off Knives, then what's the point of doing another one?
They never said they're doing another one. Well, I think that's meant to be it. That's just a one and done.
Either way, all of Knives' accomplices are still alive. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility that they do.
Like Mona Gale's still alive.
Yeah, they do an Advent Children and bring him back.
What's the fucking? Well, I just kind of think if it's a one and done, then I'm sorry, that story is not well done enough.
Well, it won't be a one and done because that's my point. Is that all of his threads are still open. Like knives can come back.
I just think if they nick one of my favourite aspects
It
of
was
the
a
original.
fucking great ending though. I've got to say.
It was a really
impressive.
Like that final fight. Woo!
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that was, in my opinion, better than the fight we got in the original.
Oh, no.
1,000 times better.
No way.
Yeah.
No, the original is one of the best final fights ever.
Do you think?
Absolutely.
No, I agree. It's very cool, but I thought this was.
No, the confrontation between Vash and Knives in the original is way more built up.
No.
It's way more intense.
Way more built up. There's like 6 episodes.
The thing is though, within this one we saw Knives at the beginning. We saw Knives at the beginning. We kept seeing how much of a threat he was. In the original, we just saw his lackeys doing all his work. In this one, you always feel Knives' presence in the background. That's what you're meant to be. He's not basically. He's not a Saruman. He's a Sauron figure. That's the difference between them. Reese, I want your opinion on this one. Whose opinion do you come about the better final fight?
I do prefer the new one in Stampede, just because of the greatest degree of animation we see and the more versatility going through the city.
God, I did not like the plant-obsessed Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Yeah, he's totally, yeah.
Come on, he looks like Dr. Robotnik.
That's exactly what Claire said this morning. He's giving, and also he had mysterious anime disease where he just coughs occasionally, and that's like evidence that he's dying somehow. But other than that, has no impact on his daily functioning.
Yeah.
I do agree though. Like a lot of his the henchmen in that one would definitely felt like they should have had more of a presence. But when they're like, for example, the blue hair guy with
Blue Summers
with the telekinesis. After like the ship incident, they're just like, okay, bye.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, because they sort of just faded out into the distance. It's Homer in the head, doesn't it? Also, you know that guy early who was planting the bombs and stuff.
Oh,
the first time I thought they said H bomber guy, and I was listening to the dub and I was like, hang on, what? He's in this.
Can I also add to it that I think that that I really missed Millie being there.
100%.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Roberto was no replacement.
And if this is a one and done, that means we're never going to get Millie other than that one line at the end.
It would be, again, I think it would be foolish to do that. Like, there's room in after this one season to do more. I think it would be foolish.
What about here's a thought. What do we think of the redesigns?
I like them.
I like them.
Yeah, they're okay.
They're fine. Yeah. I mean, I actually think Vash's redesign is actually a decent upgrade, a decent new one.
I think it's the good version of like modernizing your character.
Yeah.
Unlike all the changes they've done, like giving him a mechanical arm, making his hair a bit more floppy.
I think the most Vash thing we saw though was in the first episode. Has anyone got any bullets?
Yeah.
Yeah, though I am a little disappointed we never saw him say love and peace.
Love and peace.
He's so different, isn't he? He's
in the original he's like a massive comic relief character. In this one he's just like he's a bit of a goofball.
He reminds me of oh my god, Mad Scientist, but in
he is very.
Okabe Rintaro.
But in the second in the second one.
Yeah, the way it feels I think it fits the tone though, because in this one they're definitely going focusing more on the drama within Trigun than the humour.
Yeah, agree. 100%.
Well, the thing is I found interesting is it's the same director that's come back. It's Toshi Mimura.
Really?
Yeah, no, he did the original. He also, you would likely directed Hajime no Ippo.
Did he really?
So evidently he basically said he didn't want to recreate what he'd already done.
Yeah, well, that's smart then.
That's fair enough.
I respect that, because I mean also it's adapting it for a modern audience, isn't it? 25 years on.
Let me just double check that. I think he was only an episode director or something, because I'm double checking the credits here, because that sounds a bit odd, because I'm certainly got someone new in to direct.
I mean, no.
Because he's kind of listed here as a director, but I mean, if he has come back to direct it, it's very clear that he didn't want to just do what he'd already done.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, music-wise, I think that's where we get a massive downgrade to the new one.
I like the OP more.
The OP's fine.
I like the OP.
No, under no circumstances will I say.
Actually, I'm with Ren here.
Yeah, thank you.
Under no circumstances will I say the new one's good. But the old one is one of the greatest OPs ever made.
No, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. I think I think the visuals are better. I'm more into like I'm just like the vocal.
Yeah.
The vocals
back
in it.
me
It
up.
fits the show better than the original would. I think.
Yeah.
Reese, please back me up. Please back
I
me up.
do prefer the new one.
Yes!
Ever so slightly.
Yes.
But I will say for the original though, it ties into Vash's character more because it's more comedic, showing off his personality.
Yeah.
Yes,
Meanwhile,
yeah.
this one ties in because the show shows like Vash sort of being more melancholy and depressed.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
Again, it's the same music person. It's Suene Igamura.
Wow.
Yeah.
Igamori, sorry.
I think this entire episode is just how nostalgia blind is Calvin. The episode.
nostalgia blind.
No, do you know what it is?
Literally, all you've been doing this entire episode is the original did this better because.
No,
I
I was thinking last night when I was thinking last night when I was prepping for this. What thing did the new one do that I really much prefer compared to the original?
Antagonist story structure.
No, fight scenes better.
Yeah.
Fight scenes are a little better.
Yeah.
I say definitely. As I said,
Story structure definitely not. I much prefer.
I say it built up Knives better.
Yeah, I
I disagree. I think Knives was.
No, I
built-
think the reason why is because we saw Knives right at the very. We saw Knives and sort of saw him built up close to the beginning, so we got. It felt like a presence throughout the entirety of it. Meanwhile, in the original Knives, more just felt like a factor halfway through.
I don't think you need much with Knives though. I feel like he's one of those villains that he doesn't need over explaining.
I mean, it's like, as an example, with Cowboy Bebop with the Syndicate, we were introduced to them pretty early on, and therefore they were a much better, overwhelming presence. I think Knives was, in my opinion.
I think Knives would have worked better in the original had he had that initial introduction. Because I mean, a good comparison might be Dio, for example.
Yeah.
Dio, you have stakes, you have a vengeance mission,
But I feel like
and then
this-
he, and then he
Yeah,
sends
like
lackeys.
Dio has one of the best, in my opinion, is one of the bestly introduced antagonists in anime.
I feel
Because
like
you just saw immediately how much of a dick he was, what his family relationship was, and things like that.
And then he fucks off into the background and sends
okay,
lackeys.
okay.
Yeah.
Agree or disagree? The new one's way more focused on being a sci-fi show than a Western show compared to the original, which was the other
Oh
way
yeah.
around.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, it does lose a lot. That's one thing I'm sad about. It loses that sense of
The-
comedy, the grounded sort of like, isn't everything shit,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Which is that Gunsmoke is a very desolate planet, but then we
Yeah.
also got to see a lot more aspects of Gunsmoke
Yes.
in the original.
You also didn't really see much of Vash's Stampede elements, shall we say. Like someone I really like in the original, which I just found hilarious, was the fact that Vash was considered this like incredibly dangerous, chaotic person, but he never actually caused much damage to people trying to kill him. Of
Yeah.
course,
Yes.
until like the halfway point of the series, then we realised, okay, now we need to go
Yeah.
down that route. But I just kind of, I don't think I'm nostalgia blind for this one because I was willing to give it an opportunity. But
Sounds like you didn't like it. You didn't like it though as much.
no, I liked it, but I kind of felt like it left me a little more cold than the original did. It was kind of like, I don't think this quite nailed
I
it.
feel like it could work as a prequel, kind of. Like if you took out Metal Strife, it could kind of work as like this is where,
Yeah.
like, because like the big disaster that caused Strife,
But you
that
also
caused
need
Vash to get the $60 million bounty happened at the very end of this.
Yeah.
You need Wolf Ward out of there as well because
Yeah.
you can't have those two meet up before the events of
Yeah.
the original if you want to do this as a prequel.
Can we talk about the episode with that kid who gets turned into a biomutant?
Oh,
yeah.
my
that one.
god, what the fuck?
that was dark.
I was watching that last night, I was like, Christ.
Just another example why all religion is bad.
Yeah.
This
God, it was insane. I was
we'd like to point out for legal reasons that this is
Well, legal reasons, the church going to sue me.
The,
I'm going to be calling them out.
Reese's opinions do not reflect the opinions of the broadcasting department or the sponsorship of the broadcast. We now return to your regularly scheduled anime Amigos.
So, Prince Andrew.
Excuse me, a video.
Yeah.
A video, sorry.
There is a lot of like child death and trauma in this though as well.
Yeah.
As I said, it kind of focuses more on the darker aspects and how much of an impact Knives' group is making than the original did.
And also, I'm intrigued by the addition of a triplet, that Tesla character, the other independent.
That one.
He's unnecessary.
I don't
Carl,
think.
no, you're married to the original.
I don't think they were really. Well, I don't know if it was a triple. I say it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was one that Knives created himself.
Oh, because I thought it was a third independent that they'd like experimented on or something.
No, I think it's one that Knives created himself.
No, yeah, I might have got that mixed up. But I think
I just said I could be wrong.
Oh no, I do love the update they did to Mona the Gale. That was great.
Which one?
The Iron Man looking guy.
Oh yes, yeah, he's cool.
He looks like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I thought
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
really
that guy.
cool.
Maybe because he has one of my favourite villain names ever, Mona the Gale.
Makes me think of Mona the Vampire. Mona the
Oh, God.
I have not thought about that fucking decades.
You're welcome. That was a good show.
So when's that going to Blu-ray release?
When's the anime
20
Mega
years
video
ago.
on that?
Yeah.
It'll be just in the future, and Mona's sort of like got Chunibyo and just
Where's that TikTok trend, guys?
refused to come out of her delusions.
I liked there was an episode where they got trapped in like the mirror dimension, and it was a guy going, "You are trapped in the fourth dimension," and he just kept repeating that. It's just that's the Mona the Vampire that's stuck in my mind.
But
It was like a hole of mirror. Anyway, sorry.
It's random.
It's fun though.
very, very random. It's again, Johnny Young Bosch has been I realised that Johnny Young Bosch has been the only consistent actor in the dub for these ones. Because Wolfwood went through actor changes every time. Merrill went through actor changes every time. I think.
I mean, can you blame them? Josh is he's like the perfect person to play Vash.
It's one of those reasons why. And Johnny seems like one of those actors who's very tied to his most popular characters. Like he doesn't. He's sort of, like for example, he comes back to voice Renton almost every time in all the Eureka 7 stuff.
He's come back to play Ichigo in Bleach stuff.
Yeah, he's come back for
right.
Ichigo. He came back for Power Rangers.
Yep, twice.
Twice.
I saw him once at a Comic-Con actually.
Oh, really?
Well, I didn't go up. He was at the celebrity booth. I didn't go to see him, but he was there.
His line must have been massive.
I can't remember. That was like, oh god, that was like, I think I was 19 then.
One thing I think that the 3D animation doesn't do quite as well with dub is the
lip sync.
Yeah, the lip sync.
Well,
You've got less to play with your 3D.
Yeah, it's more difficult too, because like all you have with English dub, all you have to do is really change the mouth movements, and this one you have to like change the entire animation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
With the difference also is that with the way dub, it's a lot harder to cover it up with 3D animation compared to 2D. But it's also the fact. But still, that's why Beastars' dub kind of works, because the models are built in a way that works quite well for the dub.
Yeah, because the mouth movements aren't like human mouth movements.
Yeah.
You know.
So it's less uncanny valley
Yes. Yeah.
with them.
Which is ironic.
I did find some of the moments of combined 2D animation and 3D animation a bit iffy. Like, you know,
I'll agree with you on that.
I'll say this now. I've seen. Do you remember that show X-Arms that came out last year?
Oh my god.
That implemented 3D to 2D terribly.
Yeah.
Like, if you need a hint, we had 3D characters and 2D characters next to each other in the same space for extended number of times.
So in
and by comparison, but since I've seen the worst, I think this isn't that bad.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was terrible, but it was noticeable.
Actually, in that case, I think surprisingly the facial animations of this one were really good. Like they did a really good job of trying to match the sort of 2D style with the facial animations, and they did a really good job with it.
You can get a lot of nuance with 3D facial animation, I think, and this show does do that.
Yeah.
I did like the 2D animation with Wolfwood's backstory. That was nice. That kind of.
The sort of the rough drawing.
Yeah, like
stuff.
scribbles. I thought that was really
good. I thought that was really good.
I also thought Austin Tinsdale is actually pretty good as Knives.
Yes,
Yeah,
I really liked his voice acting.
He's very good.
As well, how the fuck can Wolfwood not find a cigarette that isn't bent? Did you guys notice that?
Yeah, I noticed that.
He borrowed one from Roberto, and Roberto had a straight cigarette, and then 2 seconds later it was crumpled up. Does he just not?
I think it's just because that's kind of that was the design in the original.
It
just kind of stuck with
it.
It
looks cool. I can't.
It looks dope. Yeah.
It is where I kind of I kind of wonder though how much of the old school fans are really gonna like the new one.
Well, we have one right here.
Yeah, it just depends how set in their ways they are.
I think it's going to depend how set in their ways they are. Because I think there is a lot of merit to Stampede. Like, I probably gave off the impression that I didn't like it, but I did.
Yeah.
I actually think Stampede is a good reboot for Trigun. I would like. My only problem is
It's different.
Yes.
It's just different. I went in completely judging it by its own thing. I think the fact that I only watched the original Trigun for the first time a couple months ago kind of helped with that.
But I think it also helps the fact.
I liked it. I still think it's very good.
Yeah.
I think Stampede though needs a second season.
100%.
I feel like it should have been longer. I think that's one of the problems with it. I think it should have been longer.
Like the other one, original had 24 episodes to tell its story. This one's only got 12.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like its story's finished. Like, I know the original's ending is abrupt. I'll give you that. The original ending is abrupt, but it at least felt like a satisfying ending. I don't get that sense of this one. It's kind of like, either we're going to continue this and we actually might get a satisfying ending, or we're left with this ending.
Yeah, I think they were kind of hedging their bets. I think if it weren't to get a second season, like, it's a conclusion. It might not be fully conclusive.
I'm also wondering, is Orange really planning this project well ahead of time? Because we've seen a lot of anime that's had to use quite high budgets get massive delays recently. This did not get any massive delays. Like we saw Nier's got massive delays, Uncle from Another World got massive delays, and most recently Zon 100's got massive delays, which also has used some 3D animation to work over the 2D animation. I think particularly the zombie shark sequence involved quite a bit of that.
The thing I still find so shocking about that is that that's a new studio. That's their first project.
It's probably,
and that is insane.
And the annoying thing is they probably won't get if they wanted to make a second season, they probably will be taken off the project because they'll just say, you've proven you're not up to the task. So we're not going to give you the second season. We're going to give someone else the
But
second
they
season.
did such a good job with it.
Yeah, but that's not what they're going to look at. They're going to look at the fact you didn't get all 12 episodes out in the first season.
Yeah, they need consistency.
You are not consistent enough to work with us. And the manga.
I mean, if they get a studio that's good enough, I can still see it doing well. Like if it was given to like Witch Studio or something like that.
Oh, which studios do it finishing off would be great. But I think, though that being said, Trigun Stampede, it's still up for potentially be a wild card for all of us.
Yeah.
What's the realistically that any of us will nominate it at the end of the year?
I don't think I will. On the season that came out, it was like I think it just missed out on the top 5 sequels.
To be honest, I hadn't watched it by that point, so like that was my first time watching it yesterday. I would consider it. I really liked it.
Oh wow!
I really liked it.
Reese,
I did really enjoy it, but it probably won't get a wild card from me.
Yeah, look, I'm looking at all the shows I'm really liking at the minute. Like I'm looking at like My Happy Marriage. I'm looking at Zon 100, and then the other shows that came out in other seasons like Hell's Paradise and Buddy Daddies, and I'm thinking any of those I'd rather nominate.
When comparing to Trigun, if someone said they preferred it over the original, I would kind of get it. I would understand why they did.
Put it this way, I would get it, but I wouldn't agree with them.
Honestly, I prefer the original, but only slightly. I think Stampede is very good on something.
Okay, I want to point that out because you going on about me being nostalgia blind and how all the really good stuff the new stuff does. Why would you prefer the old one?
Why do I prefer? Well, I think it develops the main cast better. I feel like it does it's just a bit more funny. It has more runtime, so it has more to like show off. As I said, I think it's just a little bit better though.
Ren, you watched the old one for the live show we did.
Yeah.
What would you say you prefer, the old versus new?
Yeah, I'm probably still quite high off of watching it yesterday because I thought it was great. But original.
So take this with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, absolutely. Original character development definitely better. Meryl actually has an arc. I think things just happen to her in the new one. Yeah.
Also, as you keep saying, Roberto has nothing on Millie.
Yeah. Not doesn't hold a candle. Humour, 100%. World building, yeah. I think this is a better story. I think this is better paced. I think it's arguably better structured. Definitely better structured. Original, I think, just has a lot of other things that you can watch it kind of more casually and really enjoy.
I know we said take a pinch of salt, but you haven't really said an old or new yet.
How do you mean?
You haven't said
what you
definitively
prefer.
old.
Which I prefer. Again, I don't think. I'd need more time
I'm
to
putting you
really
on.
stew
I'm putting you on the spot with this one.
I'm going to equivocate then. I'm going to sit on the fence.
I mean, in all fairness, he watched he did say he's still he's still pretty high from it.
Yeah.
I think he liked it more than the rest of us did.
Yeah.
Probably.
I've been praising it like hell.
Yeah.
Mr. Reese.
I will go with the original. Slightly better for me.
Okay, again, that's interesting because again, as a coach of turns, where you were saying now you think the new one's done a. So it's interesting that a bunch of us said we like the original, but yeah, we were spent most of the time saying no, we think the new one does this better.
Yeah, because I think overall the older one is better than some of its parts.
Right,
comparison.
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
I think Trigun's animation hasn't aged well.
I disagree.
Compared to a lot of older shows, like Cowboy Bebop, for instance.
Yeah.
No, I still say you could put that on now and it would still work. Again, you can definitely see the Trigun influence in something like Megalobox, for example.
Yeah, obviously.
Like Megalobox looks really a lot like Trigun.
Yeah, but made with modern technology and.
Yeah, obviously, but I stand by my point on that.
Yeah,
one.
no, I'm not. It's not a critique. I'm just saying, like, for its product of its time. I think people who watch that earlier in their life would definitely be more married to it and enjoy that more. I think this one is a good update, but I think both have their merits in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, honestly, I feel like I could see a modern audience watcher prefer the Stampede to the original.
I would like to see like a remaster almost of the original. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, especially when you go back to watch the original now. It's in the all 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yeah,
so you got the giant black bars either side.
I mean, the thing I find most shocking is that the original doesn't have a Blu-ray release.
That's what I mean,
that's what I was thinking.
Like I had to watch it from like a normal DVD, which is.
Yeah, that's how I got it as well. It's like I'm amazed that they never remastered this for Blu-ray.
Especially when it's such a legendary anime.
Yeah,
Exactly,
I mean, they did Outlaw Star, and that's not nearly as big.
Which is, I just
probably
think.
got to be like a licensing thing or something.
I imagine that this license is all, but surely someone, whoever has a license for Stampede, gets the license for the original.
Who wrote the original manga and what have they done?
Oh, hang on.
I wonder what.
This is where having better access to the internet
Yeah.
for all these podcasts comes in handy.
I wonder what input they had on the new one.
It's Yoshihiro Naito, who and he did.
Blood Blockade Battlefront.
He did. He did which is one of my favourites in recent memory.
That's really cool.
Yeah, no, that's his contribution. It's Trigun and Blood Blockade Battlefront pretty much. He's done something called Samurai Spirits, and
Can I look at Kekai Sense though?
that is Blood Blockade Battlefront in
Japanese.
Japanese.
Is it? Oh right, okay.
That's the one shot he did that led into it.
Got it.
It's Kekai Sensen is its name in Japanese.
So
He also also the video game creator for Gungrave.
I've
Oh.
not played that.
I played the first one. It's alright. You can be in it like 3 hours.
But
Actually, no, 2. I've been in
But
it 2 hours.
other than that, like he's pretty much. If you look at a lot of his stuff, it's a lot of quite short manga.
I mean, the
most of the
original,
time. And then he does long spin-offs. So he did Trigun,
which is
then he
3
did
volumes. Then he did Trigun Maximum, which is 14.
volumes. Then he got Blood Blockade Battlefront, that's 10 volumes, and then he's just doing constant spin-offs. Like he did one about called Back to Back, which is another 10 volumes, and then he's doing one right now about called Beat Free Pete.
Do we know what input he had on the reboot? This new season.
He's just listed as original creator, so I think he didn't have that much input. But again, the anime is not really his baby in these ones. It's definitely more.
He's just a manga creator.
Yeah.
I think he has some input on these, but
I think that's an interesting point. Is how much sway the original creator's vision holds over this, and this doesn't feel anything like the original.
okay. The new creator, the new director who did most of the episodes is Kenji Muto, but he only really has. Please ignore my cousin being singing in the background. But he's only really directed one movie prior to that, and from 2009. Yeah, he hasn't. He's done quite few bits and bobs, but he hasn't done much directing. He's done a pretty good job on this job actually.
Yeah, considering this is like his first anime series he's directed, he's done a fantastic job.
Yeah,
Pop
so I
Zero.
thought I'd clarify that one.
Absolutely.
But I don't. I really think could see this doing quite well on Toonami when it goes there.
Yeah.
I imagine that.
Again, I don't know if it will considering just how much darker it is. compared to the original.
Yes, you do get a sense of threat early on, like when that pregnant lady was and her two friends were being attacked by knives. God, that was
Oh my god,
gruesome.
that!
Oh,
Or
yeah.
like how the first time you see knives is when E.G. Bomber saws him, and you just see him like sever both his arms, and all the blood spurting out.
I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
that's what this show is going to be doing, right? Okay, I was just like, that is totally different than Trigun.
Yeah.
Is
I loved the kind of episodic, comedic world building of the original Trigun. I thought that was my favourite part.
Yeah, meanwhile with the second one I much prefer the darker, more grounded story structure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really, it was a shame we didn't get that neon guy. I think we'll be getting him in season 2. if we
The
get it.
neon guy.
Yeah, from the original, that cowboy guy with the train.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think we saw some of his lackeys, or there was some neon coloured.
There's a. I
Yeah,
think
whenever I think of when you say the cowboy guy, the first one that came to mind was the one from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah.
Andy.
On the horse.
Andy, that's him. That was one of my favourite episodes. I love that guy.
Now that I can tell you my backstory. Shut up! We don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I especially love how at the end of the episode, the guy who they're after is right there, and Andy and Spike are just fighting each other.
Yeah.
So who the?
Can we think of any other shows that have done a similar thing to Trigun, where they've had an original that's older and then reinterpreted it, perhaps updated the animation?
Well, the classic example is Fullmetal Alchemist.
Fullmetal Alchemist.
The difference is with a lot.
Fruits Basket.
Differences with a lot of them,
Well,
they're staying more loyal. They're more being remade to be loyal to the manga. I think what Ren means is like completely different
Well,
interpretation of it.
that's. I
don't
kind
there
of.
are many of them.
You could say both twice for Berserk because both the film trilogy that reinterpreted there was the film trilogy that reinterpreted the original one, but did it terrible.
Well, what about like Gurren Lagann? Because didn't the movie?
No.
Go off?
Yeah, the films go off in a different way, but it's only a slight variation.
Is it? Okay.
You still
Oh,
get the
yeah.
same conclusion.
Yes. Okay.
But the difference is that in the movie, everyone gets mechs.
Oh, do they? Oh,
Yeah.
is that the only difference?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's funny.
So
Including Yoko.
Yeah.
Good for her. She deserves some.
She gets a pink one because she's a girl.
Hey, high for her.
I generally
Equality.
I generally can't think of one that did like a different interpretation.
I don't think there's that many. I think this is quite new territory.
This is a very unique thing, yeah.
Yeah, nothing's coming to me thinking about it.
No.
which is weird because I feel like the anime industry is
'Cause, like,
going to be getting down the reboot path more and more. as
Because
we
like
go
when you
on.
compare it to other shows that have had like different ones, the Berserk remake as an example, that just tells more of the manga. Because the original stops with the Golden Age arc, that one goes beyond that into like the
Here-
Conviction arc. And
Here's one. I
whatnot.
know Sunrise is very what's the word I'm looking for? It's about their properties. They're very fixated on keeping their properties in house.
Yes.
Possessive, yeah. But
Yeah,
do
because
you
the
reckon,
whole, the whole thing with Sunrise, they have like over 16 studios.
Do they?
do you reckon they
Yeah.
could just license it out once and have Orange do a Gundam series? Because I could imagine they do an amazing Gundam series.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like with that one, they would like probably want to remake one of the older ones, like Wing or something.
Like imagine Orange remaking Gundam Wing.
I think original Dragon Ball would benefit from something like
Imagine if they tried doing Seed Destiny and actually made that good.
Oh. No, it's gotten worse because it's the 20th anniversary of Seeds, and they've announced a new film based in that universe.
Fuck me.
Yeah,
Don't worry. I'll get you the Bleach.
thank you.
Can I actually to your point, Ren, on Dragon Ball, I'm going to disagree on this one because I always think I always usually think the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z designs they don't work as well in 3D. Not Akira Toriyama's art style because we've proven that with like Dragon Quest, but something about the Dragon Ball characters. I always think like they weren't made to be seen in 3D.
I mean, the Dragon Ball fighting games have done a good job with that.
I disagree with that. I
Like
love
the
all Tenkaichi.
Dragon Ball Z Fighter, they did a really good job at adapting those characters.
Dragon
into
Ball
3D.
Fighter Z, I think,
Well,
is one of the
that's-
exceptions to the rule.
I'd-
Raging Blast or Tenkaichi 3.
No,
Yeah,
I don't
I'd
know what
say-
they're looking like.
I'd say if they did a 3D Dragon Ball, they'd have to animate it in twos. So like in the sort of the same way that they adapted Spider-Verse.
Also,
Yeah.
stop a second. Can I just say for Tenkaichi 3, whoever designed that boss fight between both Whis and Beerus, with both of them having super armor, is a masochist and can go die in a ditch. Seriously, fuck?
I think in terms of what Trigun Stampede did compared to the original, it's actually closer to like a live-action adaptation. Do you think? Because I mean, you think about. I'm sorry to bring it up again, but Cowboy Bebop live action is that just tried to do something totally different.
I
and
don't-
failed?
I can see what you mean, but
I
I think the difference
The
is...
difference is you could definitely tell with Trigun Stampede that was more just them taking, as I said, taking elements from the original and making their own thing with it. Meanwhile, with Cowboy Bebop, it almost felt like the showrunners thought, oh yeah, we could do this better.
Which is what they said in interviews. Because
Yeah,
we
like-
got evidence.
Good God, my voice actor saying this isn't for the original fans.
Yeah, or welcome to the ouch motherfuckers.
How do you think you can improve upon something universally recognised as one of the greatest shows?
No, I would actually, if I was in their position, I would say, right, we're not going to try and improve on this.
Yeah.
We're just going to try and
Do our own thing.
We're going to try and do our own thing. I would be talking to Watanabe. I wouldn't just bring him in for like, I'd be talking to him almost constantly, saying, look, I have this idea. Is this in keeping with your vision, or am I going so off the rails with this? Just like I'd just call him up every so often if I'm a bit conflicted about something.
Yeah.
But it would just be that would be what I would be doing in every. I don't know about you guys on that one, because it's. But with Trigun, you have more to work with than with Bebop, because in that sense of. There's not as rabid a fan base for Trigun as there is for Bebop.
Yeah, I mean Bebop is like the quintessential '90s anime. Trigun's more just it's a fun Western sci-fi.
I mean, if you look at Adult Swim and the lineup that was on there, you had such great lines with stuff like that, and Big O, and you had Wolf's Rain, Bebop. It's very much part of that golden. Them and Toonami were really part of that golden age of localization.
Yeah.
I'd say now we're in like the silver age of localization, where it's really good, but it has a very different feel to that time period.
Yeah.
I think if they were to do try to improve upon the original formula for Trigun and just try and make it more close to the manga, they would have upset original manga enjoyers. This way, I feel like new fans and old fans can kind of have their own thing and enjoy it independently.
Well, here's the
They
thing.
are so different.
You do kind of like that because like the manga will have their own fan base, the anime will, and this one will, and you can like talk about the differences, what you like.
Actually, can I stop to Ren's point? I guarantee you, ask most people like Trigun, most of them won't have read the manga.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Probably not,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I guarantee, I'll go on Amazon right now. It'll be impossible for me to buy it.
The only other Trigun fan I know is Yan, who I know hasn't read the manga.
God, we've had a lot of random tangents today.
We have.
Let
Do
me
you want
see.
another random tangent? It weirds me out that
Okay,
Killer is front and centre for that.
Yeah,
considering he's not the protagonist.
I keep looking at that, you know.
Oh.
I keep seeing.
Because he's
Seeing
not,
that.
and Levi's there as well. It's not the
Okay,
Yeah,
protagonist,
Lelouch
it's
is
just
right there in the background as well. I'm pretty
News
sure.
just
I didn't realize Kaneki was in there. Top left.
Top left, yeah.
news just in. Trigun manga is getting a deluxe edition coming out in December.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, I knew.
£45.
It's
hardcover.
£45 for
No,
the.
thank you.
It's the.
I'm pretty sure that has like all 3 volumes in there,
Yeah,
so it's like the
all-
whole thing.
Although you could have, and there's a maximum of deluxe version. That's a little cheaper. So the one that gives you more content is cheaper than the one that gives you
I
less
think
content.
that one again will just be the first 3 volumes.
Yeah.
But
Because I mean, like they're not gonna shove 14 volumes into that.
all I can say is pre-order now.
I think that would be interesting. I would be
Actually,
interested.
no, I'm going to get that digitally. I think.
I would be interested in reading the original now I've seen these 2 things.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because I'll be honest, I for all the talk, I know what happens in manga. I've never actually read the manga because it's so inaccessible
Was it?
over here. Like it's really hard to get a legal copy of the Trigun manga
Well, I mean,
in Europe.
I mean, as I say, it's kind of difficult to watch the Trigun anime here.
It's getting harder and harder. Like I looked into how to get a DVD now for Trigun. I thought, thank God I got it when it did, because it's really hard to get it now.
Yeah.
And I'm very worried.
If anything doesn't work, try CEX.
All I can say.
If that doesn't work, try your fellow alleyway. There's probably some guy selling it next to the cocaine bin.
For all I can say though is, I feel like anime's in a very similar position to the video game market right now. There's not enough emphasis on preservation. Like you look at Crunchyroll, you can get the new. new version of Fruits Basket right now. You can't get the original. Now, for all purposes, the new one is better in every way.
I mean, the original was on Funimation.
It was, but it's not on Crunchyroll yet, and that site's going to shut down soon because they're merging it completely into Crunchyroll. So what happens if that happens and Fruits Basket 2001 doesn't come over? There's now less ways to see that one if you're at all curious about it. Trigun is now starting to disappear. There's very little ways to see the original Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. It does just push people, and even
wasn't the original Hunter x Hunter bad?
But the point is, there should be preservation for these things in place. This is still a part of anime history. Like we're not going to say the original Hellsing's not that great, but we're not going to say there's no point at preserving that because Hellsing Ultimate is amazing.
This is what happens in capitalist society. Sorry to get meta, but
here comes
here we go.
It's true though, because there's no you won't get a shitload of money from preserving these things. If anything, it's like a service. But why would you do a service that you don't get paid
but
for?
There's
there's no incentive for companies.
All right,
to do
comrades.
But we can look at companies that have. But there are companies that are starting to move more into place of this preservation times. Like you got in the video game market, you got things like Limited Run Games that are doing a very good job with preservation. You have Xbox are doing a brilliant job with their preservation at the minute. They're making more things backwards compatible. As
Hello.
the doorbell rang.
Oh, good God! Have you been ordered takeaway again?
Not this time.
Every time on stream, every Tuesday.
Yep.
I order it. I make sure it comes afterwards now.
You always order it during the stream though.
Because I'm hungry.
Eat before stream.
I don't get back to 20 minutes before stream.
What's it like? I don't get back home until 8:22, and then I cook. Just wait till after.
There's usually not enough stuff in.
Cow.
Well, who buys things for their home? Anyway,
We're now returning to our regularly scheduled arguments.
Yes.
Again, we've had a lot of tangents today.
But
We have.
do you stand by my opinion that the preservation market needs to start getting better?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
yeah,
I think that the difference is though we're seeing people want this preservation in place. So preservation is going to become capitalism is going to start playing into preservation because preservation will be more financially viable than it was.
Do you think so? Because I think with all of the new stuff coming out, there's always a focus on the next release. It's never like what's come out.
But it's a load of free marketing to quietly re-release your old stuff. That's the next thing to that. It's no good trying to convince people to go onto the new stuff if they never can see the old stuff.
Yeah.
It's more hard. So that's what I'm saying. That's what they'll do. It's going to be interesting going forwards. And of course, with the Crunchyroll being purchased by Sony, we're seeing more and more access in Europe, at least. They did before. Ghost that was never accessible in Europe until the buyout happened. We've had a bunch of other brilliant ones come over. One Piece is more accessible in the UK than ever before.
That used to only be on US Crunchyroll.
Yes, and now it's more and more accessible over here. That's brilliant for preservation purposes.
I will be talking with great depth about One Piece next episode, by the way.
Well,
So
that's
I'll be watching.
we're doing that probably in October now.
October.
Oh, I thought you were doing it in September.
No.
Sometimes it's season round.
One is September now. Two, we got to do a seasonal
but
round.
I can talk about it. Holdover.
Yeah, but no.
Oh yeah, you can. You've caught up on it now.
I'm watching it. That's my point.
Oh right.
Next episode.
I thought you were talking about the live action one.
I will be talking about that also, but no, One Piece anime currently.
I feel like me and Ren will be the only people who can really talk in depth about One Piece because I've read the manga. He's watching anime.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, though.
I've read a lot of the manga.
So what?
I'm still in the Alabaster arc. I'm close to finishing it though.
So I think we've given our thoughts on Trigun.
Yes.
Thoroughly.
Extensively, and about everything else in the universe.
Indeed.
So we're back on the 29th of September.
Yes, indeed.
With our seasonal roundup, and this is probably going to be the most thin horse race we've ever had on these ones because I think some have only had a few really great shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Not been amazing, but when
I like a lot of the stuff.
yeah, there's some great stuff. We've already just mentioned a few of them on this one.
Yeah.
That being said, I've already filled in both my OP and ED categories already
Oh.
because there was a very clear winners on both of those ones for me. But I'm really looking forward to doing that because it's always one of my favourite times. And of course, we'll also be talking about another slight milestone when we get there.
Which is
Well, I'll talk to you a bit off stream about it, but we're mentioning about like slight change going for the rest of the year for Anime Amigos.
okay.
All right,
Oh.
so we'll speak.
Oh fuck, we're getting a fifth amigo?
Yeah, Grombo. Here he is.
No, we should have
Oh, Grombo.
No, it just be Joe wearing a mask.
Yeah. The gimp mask.
No, it would just be Ren wearing a badly disguised wolf costume.
Hi, I'm Legoshi.
So we'll see you in a couple. Well, before this goes off completely off the race, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Goodbye, everyone.